Judy Vincini. I assure you, your son, Eric, is not dead. You see, I wield, as you know, enormous influence here in France and throughout other European nations. And that was a false flag news report. That's a false news story, a cover story. You see, the French authorities did not recover Eric's body. Yes, there was a lot of blood. Something happened, definitely. But I assure you, Eric escaped and made his way somewhere. Not absolutely certain at this point where, Judy, but of course, if I find anything out, we'll be the first to know. I assure you of that. I hope everything is going okay back there at Vincini Cosmetics, and I'll take care of things on this end. Lieutenant Skitters did arrive in Europe, but he seems to have left, best as I can tell. He's certainly no longer a guest in my castle, shall we say? Well, I think I have other business to attend to at the moment, Judy, but I will, of course, let you know as soon as I find anything out about Eric. Goodbye,
well,
Judy.
Count Pedestrian, please take care of Doreen and please let me know as soon as you find anything else out about my son Eric. Talk to you again soon.
Well, Mayor Paransky himself. It is such an honor to have you here on my couch. And as you know, when we ended the last session, we talked about how this session I was going to hypnotize you. I'm going to take you back to your childhood. You're going to get sleepy. You're going back. 5, 4, 3, 2. The memories will come flooding back. I want you to just tell me what you see, Mayor Paransky. What's happening in your childhood? Tell me. Yes. It's all appearing to me. Yes. It's my mom. She's a Madame Paransky. She's a card reader because Daddy's drunk all the time and unemployed and never works. So she puts food on the table by reading the cards that people come by, and she reads the cards. And so, yeah, I'm sitting there at the kitchen table, and Mom is practicing with me. She's reading my future.
Well, I can say you have a bright future ahead of you. Yes, you do. You do. First of all, you're going to meet and marry a woman just like your dear Mom. Yes, she's going to be just like your mommy. Yes, she is. Oh, yes, she is. And guess what? The public of Murgatroyd is going to be an even bigger fool than you are, my son. They're going to elect you mayor. Yes, they are. They're going to vote you mayor. You're going to grow up and become mayor. That's what the Joker here says. Yes, I just quote the Joker there. Can I please have another slice of Wonder Bread? Oh, son. It's your wonder years. I wonder how I'm ever going to get you raised. Yes, go right ahead. Go get you a slice of Wonder Bread, my child.
encounter with the samurai sword of Fujiki Hiramoto, the Murgatroyd serial killer, Eric Niedermeyer, has stumbled back through the energy-time flux field near the Eiffel Tower. He has traveled through time to another time and another location in the not-too-distant future. A very interesting destination.
Well, look what the cat dragged in. I haven't seen you in 33 years. Why, Eric, you're quite wounded. Almost dead. You got attacked back in 2016. And you disappeared. Bet you never guessed that I would be ruling the world alongside Prince Devane of the North American continent when you reemerged. Everyone back in 2016 wondered what happened to you. I can see you've been cut up badly, and the news reports at the time said you had been a victim of a samurai sword. They thought you were dead. That was the cover story that the French authorities put out at the time. Ironic, isn't it? Poetic justice. Those who live by the sword die by it. Only you didn't die. The original Dr. Getrick, of course, once upon a time brought you to life. Now I suppose here you are and his grandson, Dr. Getrick, can help keep you alive again. You see, the war with the paper dolls is not going particularly well for the human side, or for me, King Pedestrian III. And I'm afraid I'm going to need your ruthless DNA, Eric, to build a new super biotech weapon. You won't be going anywhere this time, Eric.
Wow. Detroit had a drive-in theater in the 50s? Wow. This is like totally awesome. Oh, this is so cool. Man, it doesn't get any better than this. A drive-in theater in the 50s.
Bar for delicious treats and eats for the entire family.
Wow.
Ice cold drinks and
So
yummy,
cool.
yummy chocolate-covered treats. Murgatroyd's finest drive-in theater for your nighttime entertainment.
An evil reborn from the grave of Frankenstein, bringing a macabre nightmare to a teenage world of...
You've lost the urge to experiment.
Oh, every time you touch me, I go out of my mind.
Girl to death.
The Beach Girls and the Monster, starring John Hall, Sue Casey, and the glamorous Watusi dancing girls from Hollywood's famed Whiskey A Go-Go nightclub.
The monster of Piedras Blancas, the world's most shocking monster, stalks its unsuspecting prey, feasts its eyes on the next victim to writhe, and turning a lonely lighthouse village into a frenzied bedlam of blood-curdling horror. Never have you known such cringing terror, such drawn by love to the forbidden cove of the sea monster, then trapped in a torment of unendurable suspense.
Good evening, folks. We have a shocking show for you tonight. We have Lieutenant Skitters of Murgatroyd here tonight, and all of you know him from the Murgatroyd serial killer case on which he was the lead investigator. Lieutenant Skitters will be making some startling revelations tonight. Also, our guest tonight is Doreen Thompson, a blind woman who returned from Murgatroyd from France in the company of Lieutenant Skitters. Their story is frightening and incredible. Lieutenant Skitters tells us exactly what happened to the two of you that night.
Well, Les, first of all, I want to thank you very much for having us both here on the show. To some degree, it's at a certain level of risk that I'm doing this. I mean, the mayor's not happy, Senator Devane's not happy. Put it this way, we successfully escaped from Count Pedestrian's castle. I'm not making any of this up. If it had not happened to me personally, I wouldn't believe it myself. I was, in fact, held prisoner in the dungeon below Castle Pedestrian. I was, in fact, chained to the wall. And the serial killer, who apparently has, at this point in time, according to the French authorities at least, been slain by a samurai sword in some kind of samurai battle in a small village outside of Paris. Apparently, Eric Niedermeyer is, in fact, dead. But let me just say this. He came down into the dungeon while I was chained to the wall, laughed and mocked, and he was very definitely being harbored by Count Pedestrian, whom the French authorities will not touch. I went over there initially. Let me back up just a minute. My entire purpose for going over there, as you know, was after the DNA evidence and the photographic and visual evidence had come from the slaying of Blatson the artist atop the Eiffel Tower, unequivocally identifying the killer as a person that we believed at that point to have been dead. We later found out differently. Eric Niedermeyer, the Murgatroyd serial killer, had been identified as the killer of Blatson the artist. I flew from Murgatroyd to Paris, France, to help in the investigation with the French authorities. I got zero cooperation, no cooperation whatsoever. I simply was initially going to Count Pedestrian's castle for the intention of talking to him because I knew that Blatson the artist had lived here in a mansion that belonged to Count Pedestrian for some years. In fact, they had a close relationship of whatever kind for a period of time. Then there was a falling out of some kind. I'm sure most of you know this because Blatson had quite a mouth on him. And Blatson was evicted or kicked out of Count Pedestrian's mansion here in Murgatroyd. Well, as fate would have it and as time would have it, evidently, the Count allowed this character, this Eric Niedermeyer, whom we had believed I identified him at that wedding. Les, at your own wedding, whenever you and Imogene were getting married and the sniper shot Eric Niedermeyer, and he was apparently dead, and I identified him as being dead at the time, wasn't the case. Somehow, I don't know exactly how, Eric Niedermeyer survived that fatal gunshot at your wedding and was there in France, was staying in the castle of Count Pedestrian, and was down there in the dungeon laughing and mocking while I was chained to the wall. Count Pedestrian himself came down there with a bottle of wine, just having a great time that I was his prisoner. And, you know, it's the most appalling thing. Had it not been for this young blonde lady, Doreen, who accompanies me, having obtained the keys and having freed me at a point in time, should I say, that further down the road, after we had heard a news bulletin from the French authorities that Eric Niedermeyer had in fact been battle. He's still missing, but the French authorities, Lady Doreen here, we'll say abducted by Eric Niedermeyer. She was duped by him. She helped him here in Murgatroyd initially. She never with the she was aware of this. She did not learn this until they're in France, in a strange country, in a strange castle. Well, there you have it. at any rate, we're back, we're alive, we're in one piece. It's been an experience for both of us, obviously. And because of certain diplomatic immunity that Count Pedestrian enjoys, it is impossible for the United States legal system to touch him. It was impossible for me to touch him. But I'm getting on the air now, and I want to announce this to the world at large. And I will do whatever is necessary to bring this monster, and I believe Count Pedestrian is a monster, to justice, not only for imprisoning me within a dungeon and allowing that to take place, but for allowing this Murgatroyd serial killer who claimed 22 victims right here in Murgatroyd, killed Blatson the artist, and has killed 2 young women in a village outside of Paris, France. 25 known victims at the very least, and we don't know what else hasn't been traced to this killer. And the assumption right now by the French authorities, at least the official story, is that he's dead. But anyway, Les, I'm glad to be here, and I thank Doreen for freeing me, and I'm going to, at this point, turn the show over to Doreen and to you and to anyone in the audience who might want to ask a question about all of this. Thank you very much, Les.
For taking me out to lunch, Judy Vinci. I am doing well, back in my old apartment. I am sure that you are aware that I did not inform Lieutenant Skitters about you having been at the castle of Count Pedestrian, nor did I tell him about you having kept Sharon Cielo as a prisoner in the dungeon prior to his arrival and his own captivity in the dungeon. I kept all of that to myself out of respect for you, Judy, and for your kindness. And I know how heartbroken you must be that your son turned into a
ladies
serial
care
killer.
for another glass of wine. How about something for dessert today? The chef has some excellent pastries on the menu today.
Bring this over here to this table, me and it's my wife and Suki. It's our anniversary. We've never been here before. We usually just go down there to Drifty's and give us a triple. Oh, looky there. I recognize you. You're Judy Vincini, aren't you? I've seen you on the TV a lot. And, hey, my name is Uncle Frank here, and it's Aunt Suki. Y'all might have heard me call in on them call-in talk radio show. Now, I see you on the news like you with that Vincini Cosmetic Corporation and all. Judy, it's nice to meet you and everything. I didn't mean to interrupt y'all's lunch and all. It's me and the wife are going to sit down over here and celebrate our anniversary and all. We've been married 55 years. Waiter, would you get us some wine? Thank you.
Woody, intelligence has made it back from the field. We must rally quickly. King Pedestrian is planning a new frontal attack on the Eastern Front. You must deliver the speech right away and launch the counter-offensive.
Beings, tonight was the beginning of our massive counter-offensive against the evil hordes of humans who are led by King Pedestrian III and his evil henchman Prince Devane of North America. As all of you know, we now are worldwide and we number in the millions. And we have an advantage that the humans do not possess: we can regenerate. If you lose a hand or an arm or a leg, it grows back. And just like the lowly earthworms, any limb of ours that is severed grows a new replica in a very short period of time. That is how Flashy 3 came into being back in 2016. When a severed piece of the original Flashy's foot had been left after she had been viciously dismembered by the Murgatroyd serial killer. That piece of Flashy's foot grew into the being Flashy 3, who came to us from the past a few years ago and gave birth to the Uncle Frank twins, thus infusing even more human DNA into all of the offspring that have descended from them. We are all actually superior to the evil humans who created us for a slave race and then attempted to oppress us. And we shall successfully overthrow them. Now, onward to victory. Onward to victory.
Welcome to Apocalypse Hour with Father Damiano. Well, hello everybody out there in TV land and audience. I'm here to tell you about the end. Yes, I'm here to tell you about the end again. I've been telling you about the end for a while, and it's coming. It's almost here. None of y'all are ready. None of y'all are prepared. But I'm going to try to tell you tonight how to be prepared. Part of the message I'm going to give y'all. None of y'all are listening to me. You're sitting there on the TV, eating your snacks. You think this is entertainment. The world's crashing down around you, and you think it's entertainment. There's violence in the street, and you think it's entertainment. It's not. I was listening to talk radio the other day. I'm sure all of y'all do that sometimes. And there was this Murgatroyd show, and this girl called in and had her face scarred back. You may recall the Infinity Cosmetics scandal, and there was some acid in the face cream. Anyhow, this young woman, she was, I believe, an aspiring fashion model or whatever, and her career was ended from her face being scarred. Anyhow, then some young man called in right after that. He got to talking about the Wakanani Indians hundreds of years ago, and the shaman or medicine man placing a curse on Murgatroyd. Well, let me tell you, folks, Murgatroyd is cursed. It is cursed. Murgatroyd serial killer claiming all those victims. That was the wrath of the divine come down on Murgatroyd. Murgatroyd burned into the ground. When he burned it to the ground, that was the wrath of the divine coming down on Murgatroyd. He's coming down on the whole world, not just Murgatroyd. That wooden creature, infernal demonic being that it is, artificially created, satanic devil that it is a wooden creature destroying Murgatroyd. That was the divine wrath come down upon Murgatroyd. Get on the phone. Pull out your credit card. Send me your money. If you want me to stop the world from ending, I'm going to have money. I can't just do this for free, y'all. And get on the phone. Get out your credit card. Send me your money. Confess. We've got people on the line. I know you've been living in sin and doing all kinds of horrible things. Husbands, you've been cheating on your wives. Wives have been cheating on your husband. All of y'all are going out and getting drunk and doing drugs and masturbating and watching X-rated videos and every damn other thing, and sitting around plotting against your neighbor and coveting and envying and greed and just doing all kind of sleazy things. I mean, come on, confess, tell it. We'll record your confessions, and the best of them will be released on CD. And if your donation is more than $200 tonight, you will be given an MP3 or a CD or digital download of your choice of all of the best of tonight's confessions where people call in, confess. Don't worry, you can remain anonymous. Don't identify yourself. If you really want to remain anonymous, I wouldn't use any first names. I wouldn't use the city that I was in or any of that. All of your information, though, will be kept confidential. It'll be carefully edited so that your voice will be on these voice downloads, but your neighbors won't recognize that it's you. They won't nobody know, and then anyhow, the long and short of it is, for this $200 donation, you get a CD of all the best confessions where people call in with their confessions tonight. Now, is Count Pedestrian the Antichrist? I had somebody ask that the other day. Well, that time will tell. I mean, definitely he's attempting to rule the world, and man, we know that there's these people tampering with time. I mean, this has been going on now for a while. And, of course, now when Senator Devane becomes president, and this new North American Alliance that Senator Devane is going after these time people. He was trying to have Senate hearings when that damn Bunch for the Future, the paper dolls, came and kidnapped Dr. Reed Summer and took her and the time device with him. I know you saw all that on TV. You can't. Come on. Nothing's hidden. Nothing's hidden. I know what you do. I know what your dirty little filthy habits are. Now get on the phone and fill out your credit card and send me some money. This Dr. Getrick defied the natural laws of the universe when he brought that serial killer back to life. Come on now. Come on now. They need to bring Dr. Getrick. Now, we don't know where he's at. Dr. Reed Summer claimed on national television during the Senate hearings that she don't know where he's at, but they need to bring him to justice. They need to bring Count Pedestrian to justice. And this Dr. Derrickson, that was a divine wrath that he had a heart attack and he's laying in the hospital right now. He's the one who developed that whole time tampering device. That's defying the natural laws of the universe. That's defying the divine laws of the universe. That wooden creature defies the natural laws of the universe. This flashy paper doll, she defies the natural laws of the universe. That's why the world's coming to an end, y'all. That's why it's all going to end, because mankind has tampered with the universe. This has been Father Damiano, and I want to thank all of you for being here tonight and for listening in. And the key thing I want to tell you tonight is survive. Now go get that bottle of water. Stock up a bottle of water. I told you I was going to tell you how to prepare. First thing you can do to prepare is stock up on bottled water. All right. Thank you very much. Get out that credit card. Call me. Call me. Americans, citizens of Murgatroyd. This is Senator Devane, soon to be President Devane, and I want to thank all of you who voted for me for electing me your president. First of all, I want to try to get across to you the gravity, the seriousness of the situation we face, of the struggle that lies ahead. As you know, the Senate hearings were invaded by an armed group of paper dolls from the future who kidnapped Dr. Reed Summer and grabbed the Energy Flux time device. They also rescued this infernal duplicate flashy creature. At any rate, the problem we're facing, the intelligence that we've gathered, and I've been in contact with Count Pedestrian in Europe, it seems that the paper dolls, of course, as you know from earlier Senate hearings, when I did have Dr. Getrick here, the first Senate hearings, some months back, revealed that these creatures can procreate. I'm going to be showing you a clip from those hearings at the end of the speech. I have created a list, a commission, a special commission that will be empowered after I become president to track these beings down. If necessary, we have Dr. Derrickson under house arrest right now, and if necessary, he will provide us with the ability to build another time energy flux device. He is the number one enemy of the state right now, and we have him under house arrest. Second primary enemy of the state is Flashy the Paper Doll, and she's in another time period, as all of you know. She's Dr. Getrick. The third being involved in all of this is Woody the Woodpup Boy, also an artificial creation. A clone, a splice creation of wood pulp and DNA. And this Woody the Wood Pulp, as you know, destroyed Murgatroyd some months ago. Total devastation of this is a dangerous creature. All of these creatures are dangerous. Dr. Jacqueline Reed Summer, she's on the list too. Dr. Reed Summer, as you know, was testifying in the hearings and was kidnapped by these creatures and has been taken into the future. No doubt they will torture her for whatever information she has, and they'll force her to teach them how to use this time flux energy travel about in time tempering. Dr. Getrick, of course, is about directed the Murgatroyd serial killer. He's a prime number 5 on this most wanted list. All of these are dangerous figures who must be brought to justice. Count Pedestrian in Europe and my forces here in the North American Alliance are going to track these beings down. We're going to save humanity. We're going to save the world. We're going to protect humanity from this horrible, horrible threat. And I want to thank all of you again. And as your president, I will do everything I can to affect the destruction of these vile creatures and to protect humanity. Thank you very much. Understand that these two creatures, Flashy the paper doll and this wooden thing, that they're both capable of procreating. In other words, they can make more of their kind. Is that correct, Dr. Getrick?
Yes, Senator Devane, that is absolutely correct.
There is something I must do that is very important to me. I must let my 2 children, the Uncle Frank twins, meet their father. It is their right. I must go back through time to 2016 for a very brief visit to Uncle Frank's house, and I must introduce these kids to their father. I do not even think that Uncle Frank is aware of their existence, and he has a right to meet the 2 children whom he fathered. I assure you I will not stay gone for very long. I will be back here to 2045 with the twins as quickly as possible.
My dear, I would urge you for the sake of all involved not to undertake this journey. It is a fool's mission. This Uncle Frank character, being a typical human, will neither grasp nor appreciate the twins. And they have spent the first 2 years of their young lives here among their own kind, the paper doll race. So the concept that they were fathered by a human will only confuse them unnecessarily. Again, I urge you not to do this, but if you are like my wife Flashy, and obviously being an exact duplicate of her, then you most certainly are, I know that you will do exactly what you intend to do. So if you must embark on this trip back to 2016, I urge you to be very careful. Remember, we had to rescue you from captivity there once, and rest assured the humans would love to imprison you and those kids if they could. It would be a shame for us to have to come back and rescue you a second time, but you know that they will if we have to do so. So please be careful. Thank you for taking my call. My name is Bradson and I'm going to call it straight as I see. I study history and anthropology, especially Native American Indian history, and I would like to bring something up that I ran across in my research. As you know, the Tuwakanaani Indian tribe fled this area nearly 400 years ago when the nearby religious fanatics of Flat Town were going after them to try to destroy them. Anyway, I ran across where the shaman, the high priest, the medicine man, what have you, of the Tuwakanaani Indians actually placed a curse, yes that's right, a curse, upon this whole Antwerp area. So to be honest with you, I think all of the bad stuff, the living paper doll Flashy, That wooden creature, Murgatroyd, burning to the ground and having to be rebuilt, even the Murgatroyd serial killer and all his victims, I think all of that is a result of the curse that was placed upon Murgatroyd by that Indian shaman. Now that's my theory. So I've said what I have to say. Les, peace out. Peace out, everybody.
We call upon the Great One in the sky. Those evil invaders who have attacked our innocent men and women and children. Great, great curse upon this land. I call down the forces. Any settling, any city, anything built in this area. Destruction. Great wooden god come down and destroy it. Great white paper goddess, she come down and she destroy it. And that violence which they try to visit upon us, come back to them. Innocent young women, they become victim. Strange killer with knife. Wooden creature, it will destroy future city. Yes, a curse has been placed for all time upon this land in this area. In the name of the Tuakanani Indian gods, I place this curse upon this entire area. And may it go on for centuries, generation after generation after generation, to eternity. All of this area is cursed. So be it.
DNA clone process successful. The DNA cloning of subject Eric Niedermeyer has been completed. Mass clone duplication process has been initiated.
Duplication process on subject Eric Niedermeyer in progress. Creation of clone duplicates in progress.
Dr. Getrick, you've done wonderfully. It's working. It's working. My rule as King Pedestrian over this planet will now be complete. The armies of paper doll hordes will be annihilated. I will release thousands of these clones of the Murgatroyd serial killer all over the earth, and they shall chop up and slice and dust these paper dolls to shreds. Yes, I will unleash thousands of duplicates of the Murgatroyd serial killer all over the planet.